Hello and welcome to this video blog. I'm here at the Anderson Park in Tarpon Springs, and I'd like to share another part of the story of Not All That Shines is Gold. So as I was getting closer and closer to the inner circle, then I remember one day that I had this dream in which I was supposed to fall in love with the master, that we were partners, that we were soulmates, something of the sort. Not exactly soulmates, I would believe, but that I was supposed to fall in love with him. And I felt disgusted, really. So I went to him and I said, I had this dream and I feel this is horrible. You're my master, you're my teacher. I cannot even have a sexual desire with you. And he said to me, oh, leave it. Let it be. This is very beautiful. Let it be. And I go, what? Do you really mean it? And he said to me, yes, it's beautiful. Let it be. And then I said, oh my God. So am I supposed to look at him in a different way, like more of an intimate relationship? Or I had to shift my attention from the master, the revered master, to my partner. But there was something very dark about a relationship he had with what was supposedly her secretary. They were always together. She was part of the inner circle with the men, the only women allowed in that inner circle with the men. She lived with him. They always they always made us think that they didn't live in the same room, that she was sort of like somebody that took care of him, and she was always the one in charge of the money. And I always felt that they were partners, that like it felt almost like they were married. So I said, but you have this relationship with her. And he would tell me, no, it's not like what you think. It's not a relationship. We're just, it's work. We work together. But he meant not working like she's the one that collects the money from the patients, but rather an energy work. Yes, we are working together, I'm helping her to evolve and all that kind of crap. But I never was satisfied. I said, I cannot have a relationship with you if you're not clear about what you have with her. And he said, but don't worry, I don't have anything with her. But you sleep with her. But no. When we went out on field trips, we would put up the tents and they would obviously sleep together in the same tent. I would sleep on my own tent and every other student slept in their own tent, but they would sleep together. And I said, but you sleep with her. You live with her, you sleep with her, you are married to her. And he said, no way. He always negated. And obviously, little by little, I fell into the trap of in love status. At that moment, he asked me not to go. After a while of what this happened, he asked me not to go anymore to the practice, but that he was going to go visit me because it was the best. I never really realized that since I was never willing to just revere him as a god and not treat him as equals, that it was not something that it pleases him. And so the only way that he could submit me into lowering my level of attention to him was through this situation of making me fall in love with him. And since all these strange things happen, as if I could choose, it's like, yes, he's my master. I'm supposed to be in love with him. I'm changing my direction of just being a master to being my partner. Well, he would come and visit me at my practice, at my home, and we would kiss, we would hug, well, we never had sex, don't worry. But we were close to that moment. At least, I wanted, if he was my partner, I wanted to have a closer, intimate sexual relationship. And we were close to that, but we actually never got to that point. And I always was complaining about the situation with her. He never wanted to face it. And he would go into my place with some of his disciples, but they were always staying in the living room, and we were in the room talking, and they always thought that he was teaching me something, and that I was... they never even crossed their minds that there was more than that going on between him and me. I mean, the way he managed things was just very interesting. Like, he was the center of everything, and nobody mostly talked between themselves about the things with the master, but just the master. He's the center. And so, when he pulled me apart from the group in the practice, I went through a lot of anxiety. I mean, like, what was going on? I had a very close friend there, and I was always asking her, so what's going on between him and her? And she was always giving me all this gossip, until I got to the day that said, okay, gossip is hell. Really hell. I don't want it anymore. I never asked her anything anymore. Because, she's giving me the interpretation of what she believes is happening. And so it's like a broken phone line, it's like horrible. And it was killing me inside. And I said, no way, I don't want to go through this anymore. And sometimes he would say, I'm going to visit you, I'll be there at 11. And so I didn't see clients at that time. I would leave that moment for him, and I would wait for him with anxiety. Sometimes he never even came. He never came, or he didn't even bother to call and say, I won't go. But again, the master, he has his reasons for doing things the way he does, and I had this. And so I started writing him letters complaining about my certain ways that he was communicating with me, because he didn't allow me to go. And sometimes I could not even call. What's strange? Oh God, I've gone through some bizarre things. But in the spiritual path, you're going to encounter many possibilities. I'm just sharing my own, and there are many possibilities. I mean, what I've heard about the Osho time in the 70s and the tantric practice. Well, when we are looking for growth at the spiritual level, we could easily fall enchanted by teachers, and unless they are very full of integrity, they are humans too, and they're going to want their egos to be cultivated if they are really not into the real spiritual growth. And I think this is the case with this guy. I mean, he was so full of power because of what we've given him and where we put him. He cultivated that level of mastery, and we continue to nurture it in every single encounter or workshop that he gave us, and speaking in such high level of esoteric things that nobody understood. And it's like, he's so high above everybody else that only he understands what's going on. And again, the lessons depend on how we take them. I learned a lot of lessons, and it was really, really hard to come out of that enchanted circle, of that sect. Exactly, that's what it was. It was a sect. It was very hard, because it never was marketed as a sect, but as a spiritual group in development, and wonderful people with so many abilities and so many potential, so much that they could do. And it happened, this was back in the 90s. I was with him until early year 2000. He said that in year 2000 things were going to change for both of us, and they never changed. So I decided to carry on with my life, and I went on and had a relationship with somebody else, and then little by little he was out until another chapter that was very important reappeared, and then is when we finally were able to let go and cut the ties with him. And what happened, I'll share in the next video blog. So thanks for sharing, thanks for being part of this, and if you have any questions or comments, please go to the link in the description area that takes you to the blog, where you can share your experiences or make your questions. I'll try to address the questions that you have, and we'll continue in this journey. Thank you very much. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, and we'll see what next chapter brings about. Until then, see ya.